I knew something was off when Candace stopped kissing me good morning. That small thing, just a quick kiss while I poured the coffee, vanished like it never mattered. No fight, no blow-up. Just cold air and silence. 3 weeks of that. 3 full weeks of her glued to her phone or locked behind her laptop screen. Earbuds in, barely acknowledging I was in the same room. My name's Nate. I'm 32. Live in Kansas City. And I thought I was about to marry the love of my life. I really did. But lately, I felt like a ghost in my own damn house. I'd ask how her day was. Fine. I'd offer to order in or cook something special. I'm not really hungry. She started ending conversations with, "We'll see." Like a parent brushing off a kid asking for ice cream. I tried everything to shake us out of whatever this was. I brought her coffee in bed. I booked a table at her favorite steakhouse, the one we used to hit for birthdays and anniversaries. She canceled last minute. Migraine, she said, eyes on her screen. I even floated the idea of a weekend getaway. Just us, no distractions. She shrugged and said, "Maybe later." That was it. I stopped feeling like a fiancé. I felt like her roommate, like I was orbiting her life instead of sharing it. One night, I made spaghetti and garlic bread, her favorite, or at least it used to be. She picked at her plate, barely ate anything, and got up halfway through an episode of that crime show we always watched together. She muttered something about needing to check emails, then disappeared into the bedroom. I just sat there watching the TV flicker on mute, fork still in my hand. I waited until the dishes were done, dried my hands, walked into the living room and turned off the TV. Then I turned to her, still locked in on her laptop, and said, "What's going on with us?" She didn't even look up, didn't blink, didn't pause, just kept typing like I'd asked what time it was. She didn't even look up. So I stood there for a second, just staring at the back of her head, jaw tight, heart thudding like it was ready to leap out of my chest. My palms itched. I didn't yell. I didn't pace. I just said, calm but sharp, "Candace, you're not answering me." She sighed, loud and heavy, like I was exhausting her. "I don't know what you want me to say, Nate. I want you to say what's been going on. You've been cold for weeks. You don't talk to me. You don't touch me. Every time I try, you act like I'm bothering you. So what is it? What happened?" That finally got her eyes off the screen. She shut the laptop and sat back like I was dragging her into something she didn't have time for. Her tone was clipped, eyes flat. "You always need something from me." I blinked. "What?" "You always need me to be okay. Need me to be upbeat. Need me to talk, touch, engage, be present. It's like I'm not allowed to just be tired or off." "Tired for a month straight?" Her face tightened. "See? That's exactly what I mean." I stepped forward, arms out. "Because I'm your fiancée, Candace. I'm not just gonna ignore it when it feels like you've already moved out emotionally." She crossed her arms. "You're not listening." "Oh, I'm listening. I've been listening every damn day to the silence between us." And then, "God help me." She said it, soft, casual, like it was just another sentence. Tyler never made me feel this unappreciated. My stomach dropped like the floor disappeared. I stared at her, convinced I heard wrong. "Tyler," I said, my voice barely there. "Tyler. Your ex-fiancé Tyler?" She didn't even flinch. "Yeah." There was a ringing in my ears. I stood frozen while the air got real thin. "You're seriously comparing me to him?" I asked, low and slow, trying not to explode. She rolled her eyes. "I'm not comparing. You're twisting my words." "I'm twisting, Candace. You just said he never made you feel this unappreciated. That's not a metaphor. That's a straight-up comparison." She stood up and tossed a pillow back onto the couch. "You're blowing this out of proportion." "No," I said, stepping back, like the ground was toxic now. "No, you don't get to say something like that and pretend it's helpful. You don't get to bring up the man you almost married and throw him in my face like some gold standard." "I didn't throw anything." "You did," I snapped. "You did, and you know it." She turned away like I was the one being dramatic. Just walked to the kitchen and opened the fridge like this was over. Like I hadn't just been slapped in the damn soul. I didn't follow her. I didn't argue anymore. Something inside me turned off like a switch. I walked upstairs, one slow step at a time, hearing her clinking around with a glass and the hum of the fridge. She didn't call after me, didn't ask where I was going. I got to our bedroom, shut the door, and sat on the edge of the bed. I didn't cry. I didn't throw anything. I just sat there, dead quiet, while my mind repeated the one sentence that changed everything. Tyler never made me feel this unappreciated. I didn't care how she meant it. I cared that she meant it at all. And in that moment, I stopped trying to fix anything. The next morning, I didn't kiss her. I didn't make coffee. Didn't ask how she slept. I got dressed, grabbed my keys, and left without a word. It wasn't anger. It was clarity. I was done begging someone to notice me. On my lunch break, I walked into a local bank branch, sat across from a guy in a cheap tie, and opened a brand new checking account. I moved over some cash, enough to get by, pay rent solo if it came to that. No drama, no announcements, just one quiet shift in the current. That night, I got home and saw her curled up on the couch, phone in hand, that blue glow lighting up her face. Normally, I'd sit beside her, ask about her day, try to connect. I went straight to the kitchen, warmed up leftover chili, ate standing at the counter, didn't offer her any, didn't ask if she'd eaten. I noticed her glance over once, then back at her phone. This was how the week went. I was polite but detached. Morning, night. I'm taking the car today. Basic communication. Nothing more. I stopped filling in the silence with small talk. Stopped reminding her I existed beyond logistics. I sat in the recliner instead of next to her on the couch. Slept facing the other way. Didn't bother initiating anything. Not even those little brushes of touch that had always come naturally before. By Wednesday, she noticed. "You're acting different," she said over dinner. After I'd set down 2 plates without much comment, I shrugged. "Just trying something new." She narrowed her eyes. "What's that supposed to mean?" I didn't answer. I kept eating. A few minutes later, "Why are you being like this?" I finally looked up. Calm. Steady. "I'm just giving you space. Like you seem to want." She laughed once, no humor in it. "This isn't space. This is passive-aggressive." "No," I said. "This is me not chasing someone who clearly doesn't want to be caught." She blinked. I kept my tone level. "I was doing everything I could to bring us closer. You didn't want that. So now I'm giving you what you asked for, whether you said it out loud or not. That's not fair." I stood and took my plate to the sink. "You know what's not fair? Sitting next to someone for weeks, trying to love them, while they make it clear you're not enough." Her voice cracked just slightly. "I never said you weren't enough. You didn't have to," I said, rinsing my plate. "You said Tyler never made you feel unappreciated. That said plenty." She fell quiet after that. I finished cleaning, grabbed a beer, and walked out onto the porch without looking back. She found me on the porch the next morning, coffee in hand, fake casual like nothing had happened. "I was thinking," she said, eyes on the horizon like we were in some Hallmark movie. "Maybe we should try couples counseling." I didn't answer right away, just stared out over the backyard. Quiet street, trimmed grass, birds chirping like they were in on some joke. I took a slow sip of my coffee. Then I looked at her. "What exactly are we supposed to talk about?" "How you told me another man made you feel more appreciated than I do." Her eyes flicked to mine, wide for a second. "I didn't mean it like that." "Really?" Seemed pretty clear. "I was frustrated," she said. Her voice softening like that would make it easier to swallow. "It just came out wrong." "No. See, that's the thing. That kind of thing doesn't just come out, unless it's been sitting there a while." She opened her mouth, shut it, then looked down at her mug. "So you have been thinking about him?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then, barely audible, "From time to time," and there it was. That was the moment I felt everything settle. It wasn't a one-time slip. It wasn't stress or frustration. It was a truth she'd buried just deep enough to make it seem like progress. "You think about your ex from time to time, but you're here trying to fix us?" I said, standing up, heat rising in my neck. What are we doing, Candace? You trying to save face? Or do you actually want this to work? Of course I want this to work. No. You want to feel less guilty. She stepped toward me, her hands up. I said it wrong, Nate. That's not what I meant. I don't want Tyler, I don't know why he came to mind. I stared at her hard. You don't know why? You're not over him. That's why. That's not fair. You said it yourself. I don't make you feel appreciated. He did. That's not a slip-up, Candace. That's a comparison you've probably made more than once. She didn't deny it. Didn't say a word. I walked past her into the house, straight to the bedroom. Pulled the file box from the top shelf of the closet. Birth certificate, passport, social security card, titles, everything that was mine all in one place. I loaded it into a gym bag and slipped it under a blanket in the trunk of my car. Just in case. But really, it wasn't just in case anymore. When I walked back in, she was standing in the hallway. Where'd you go? Nowhere, I said, brushing past her. Just getting organized. I woke up before the alarm Friday morning. The sky outside was still dark, a heavy gray before sunrise. The house was silent except for the low hum of the fridge and Candace's slow breathing from the bedroom. I moved quietly, grabbing the gym bag from the trunk of my car and setting it on the living room floor. Then I went back for a duffel, folding my clothes in neat stacks so I wouldn't make noise. Jeans, shirts, underwear, shaving kit. I didn't rush. I'd already decided. In the kitchen, I scribbled on a piece of paper from the notepad by the fridge. You wanted space. Now you have it. I left it in the middle of the counter, plain and easy to see. No signature. No heart. Just the truth. I slipped on my boots, slung the bags over my shoulder, and took one last look around our condo. The photos on the wall, the throw blanket she always hogged, the dent in the doorframe from when we moved in. My chest felt tight but steady. Then I walked out, locked the door. The drive across town was a blur. Streetlights streaked past. Empty roads like the whole city was asleep. I didn't play music. Didn't check my phone. Just drove. Mike's porch light was on when I pulled up. He was leaning against the doorway in a hoodie, coffee in his hand, like he'd been waiting. You're really doing it, he said as I carried my bags inside. Yeah, I said. I'm done. He just nodded, held the door open, and let me pass. No questions. No pep talk. I followed him down the hall to the guest room. It smelled like laundry detergent and fresh paint. Simple bed, nightstand, a lamp with a yellow shade. I dropped the bags by the dresser and sat on the edge of the mattress. My hands shook a little as I untied my boots. You need anything? Mike asked from the doorway. No, I said. Just time. He gave me a small nod and left me alone. I turned off my phone, set it on the nightstand, and lay back, staring at the ceiling. The silence was thick but clean. No tension. No phones glowing in the dark. No pretending. Hours later, I flicked my phone back on. It lit up like a slot machine. Dozens of missed calls, text bubbles stacked like bricks. Confusion, then anger, then panic. Where are you? This isn't funny. You're overreacting. You can't just leave. Not one message said the only thing that mattered. Not one said, I'm sorry I compared you to him. I put the phone face down on the nightstand and closed my eyes. Monday morning started off like any other. Quiet, cold, and a little too early. I was halfway through emails at my desk when my work phone rang. Hey Nate, said the guy from the front desk. You've got someone down here. Name's Candace. My stomach dropped. What? She's asking for you. Loudly. Security already got involved. We've asked her to leave twice. I stood up fast, heart racing. Did she actually get inside? No, just the front lobby. But she's making a scene, man. I closed my eyes for a second, then said, Tell security to escort her out. I'm not coming down. You sure? Positive. I hung up and sat back down, jaw clenched tight. Half the office was looking in my direction. My supervisor, Sharon, stepped into my doorway and raised an eyebrow. I just shook my head and went back to typing. By lunch, I had 4 more texts from her all over the damn place. Wow. Really? You're making me look insane. Everyone here is judging me because of you. I can't believe you'd humiliate me like this. Nothing about why I left. Just more of the same, me being the problem, her being the victim. I didn't respond. I powered through the day, then headed back to Mike's, dead silent in traffic with my phone buzzing in the cup holder. That night, I was lying on the guest bed, staring at the ceiling fan, when a call came in from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, another one came through, same number. I picked it up. "Nate, it's me." It was her. I didn't say anything. "I'm calling from my sister's phone," she rushed out. "You blocked me. Seriously? You think I owe you more conversation?" I said flatly. "You're overreacting," she snapped. "This is insane. You just disappeared, and now everyone thinks I'm some crazy psycho who ran off my fiancé. I didn't disappear. I left. And I left because you don't get to stand in our living room and tell me some other man made you feel more appreciated. Then act shocked when I walk. I didn't mean it like that." "You keep saying that," I said. "But what you meant has never mattered as much as what you said." She went quiet for a beat. Then her voice softened. "I'm just saying, don't throw this all away over one bad moment." I almost laughed. "One bad moment? This isn't about one moment. This is about you showing me exactly where I stand. You're twisting everything." "No," I said, voice low and steady. "You are. You're not sorry for what you said. You're just sorry it blew up in your face." She didn't respond. Just this shaky breath through the phone like she knew I was right and hated it. I ended the call. Didn't wait for more excuses. That night, lying in that dark room with the fan creaking above me, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Stillness. The next day, I saw her car parked across the street from my gym. Same silver SUV, same dent in the back bumper. She was sitting behind the wheel, sunglasses on, engine off, just watching. I didn't approach, didn't wave. I walked right past and went inside like I hadn't seen her. That was just the beginning. 2 days later, I was grabbing breakfast at Murphy's Diner, a place I'd been hitting every Saturday for years. Midway through my omelet, I glanced out the front window and spotted her car across the parking lot. Same spot, different day. She never got out, just sat there. Kept happening. I'd see her outside the grocery store, near the car wash, even parked down the street from Mike's. Once, she was literally parked in front of his neighbor's yard, pretending to scroll on her phone like she wasn't tracking my life like a bloodhound. I didn't text, didn't call, didn't go near her, until the day I found her waiting outside my gym again. Third time in 10 days. I stood across the lot and stared her down until she looked up and saw me. No movement, just her behind the glass, holding eye contact like it was supposed to mean something. That night, I pulled out my phone and typed one word. "Don't." Not even 10 seconds later, it rang. Her name lit up the screen. I let it ring 3 times, then picked up. Didn't speak. "Nate, please," she said fast, voice already shaky. I didn't know what else to do. I can't stop thinking. I can't sleep. I keep hoping you'll just show up." "Why are you doing this?" I asked, calm. Not cold, just done. "Because I miss you," she said, practically gasping. "Because I know I messed up, but it wasn't what I meant. It didn't mean anything." "You already said that." "I've thought about him," she blurted. "More than I should have, yeah. But that doesn't mean I wanted him back. It was just stupid comparisons. Curiosity. That's all." "You don't get it," I said. "That is the problem." "What do you mean?" "It means everything, Candace. You've been measuring me against him this whole time. Every win, every fight, every quiet night. We were never just us. I was always being graded." She was crying now, full-on sobbing into the phone. "I don't want him. I never wanted him. God, I just got scared. I didn't even realize I was doing it." "But you were," I said. "And that's why I'm done. I'll go to therapy," she cried. "I'll do anything. I'll delete every photo, block him, change my number. I don't care. Just don't give up on us." I closed my eyes. I could hear her falling apart on the other end. that used to break me. Not anymore. I'm not angry, I said quietly. I just don't have anything left to give. Nate, please. I hung up, sat there for a minute, staring at the wall. And for the first time since I left, I felt the weight lift off. I finally felt finished. The next afternoon, Mike knocked once on my door and cracked it open. You've got visitors, he said, eyes tight. Family. Hers. I stood up slow, already bracing. Who? Mom and sister, standing on the porch like it's Sunday dinner. I sighed, grabbed my hoodie off the bed, and walked to the front door. There they were, her mom in a cardigan and pearls, her sister, Jess, arms crossed like she was holding in a scream. Nate, her mom said, voice already loaded with disappointment. Can we talk for a second? I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. Go ahead. Jess jumped right in. She's sick over this. You know that, right? She hasn't eaten in days. She's not sleeping. She's not working. She made her bed, I said. Now she gets to lie in it. Her mom shook her head, like she couldn't believe I was being serious. She's devastated, Nate. You walked out without warning. No conversation, no discussion. That's not how adults handle conflict. She told me everything I needed to know, I said flat. She just didn't realize I was finally listening. She made a mistake, Jess snapped. People say dumb stuff when they're stressed. I laughed once, bitter. No, a mistake is dropping your phone in the toilet or forgetting an anniversary. What she did was say a truth she's been sitting on for years. Her mom's eyebrows pulled together. What truth? That she never fully left Tyler, I said. Not in her head. Maybe not even in her heart. Jess scoffed. She doesn't want him, Nate. That's not the point, I said. The point is she never gave me all of her. And I deserved all of her. Not the part that made the cut after she finished comparing me to someone else. Her mom stepped forward, lowering her voice like we were bargaining. What would it take to fix this? I looked her straight in the eye. She'd need to be someone who doesn't measure love by how it compares to the past. Silence. No one said anything for a few seconds. The street was quiet except for some kid down the block bouncing a basketball. Jess finally muttered, You're really doing this. I'm not the one who walked away, I said. I just happened to be the first to pack a bag. Her mom gave me one last look, half pity, half blame, then turned and walked to the car. Jess followed without another word. I watched them drive off, then went back inside. Mike didn't say a thing, just nodded once as I passed. The next morning, I called my lawyer. 2 weeks after I called my lawyer, I finally called her. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was just time. Maybe I needed to hear it out loud one last time. From her. She answered mid-ring. I didn't even have to say a word. She was already crying. Oh my God, she gasped. Nate, thank you for calling. Please let me say something. I've been losing my mind. I was so stupid. I didn't mean any of it like that. I swear to God. I've been thinking about us, everything, and I would do anything to fix it. I'll go to therapy. I'll shut everything out. I'll delete every picture. Block every number. I stayed silent. I love you, she kept going. I never stopped. I know I didn't act like it. I know I said things that were awful, but I need you to know I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just in my head. I didn't realize how much damage I was doing until you left. I let her finish. When it was finally quiet, I asked the only thing that mattered. Did you mean it? She paused. Not long. Just long enough to kill it. Yes. At the time. I let out a breath. That was it. That's all I needed to know. She panicked instantly. Wait. What does that mean? Nate. What are you saying? I'm saying I'll never unhear it. I'll never unknow it. You lined me up in your head next to another man, and I lost. You don't come back from that. You didn't lose, she cried. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that, I said calmly. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life trying to prove I'm good enough for someone who already measured me and found me lacking. I didn't mean to compare, she pleaded. I was just lost, scared. You were looking backward, I said. You've always been looking backward. She was full-on sobbing now. Please, don't do this. We can fix it. You haven't even given me a chance to fix it. I gave you 6 years, I said. You didn't settle this 2 weeks ago. You settled it the day you married me while still wondering if someone else would have made you happier. She choked on her breath. Please don't leave. I stayed still. My voice didn't even crack. The divorce papers are coming. No, Nate, please. I'm not coming back. The line went dead quiet except for her breathing. I added one last thing. You wanted space. Now you can appreciate what was in it. Then I hung up. 3 months later, the paperwork came through. Finalized. Stamped. Done. I didn't throw a party. Didn't toast with friends. I just stood in my new kitchen, in my new apartment, staring at the envelope like it was both a death certificate and a birth announcement. I traded in chaos for quiet. Mornings came easier now. No tension in the air. No tiptoeing around moods. No reading between lines. Just me, black coffee, and a day that didn't feel like a fight. She moved back in with her parents on the east side. Mike said he'd seen her car in their driveway a few times. I heard she deleted her socials. Not that I went looking. Some days she crosses my mind. Not with anger, just clarity. She didn't wake up one day planning to ruin us. I know that now. She didn't want to hurt me, didn't want to kill what we had. But she did. All because she never truly let go of the guy who came before me. You can't build a future when you're still measuring it against a past. She thought I didn't notice, but I always felt it. Every time I came up short, every time I gave her something and got nothing back, every time she said, Tyler never made me feel this unappreciated. That line's going to echo in me for a long time. But it's not the reason I left. I left because I finally understood something she never said out loud, but lived every day. She was still grading me, and I'd been losing that silent contest for 6 years. I didn't walk away because I was weak or bitter. I walked away because I refused to be second place in my own life.